So we're now live.
Live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 101 of the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul. And yes, I know this is quite a sudden and extra episode after the 100th episode, but we thought we'd start it off with a nice one. Something that me and Sam's wanted to talk about for a while. And just to bring it back to a little bit of, because Sunday was a lot. A lot of people, a lot of emotions. So we thought we'd bring it back to a little bit of a calmer territory, back to the original duo. And kick off
a postful episode.
Yes, and kick off the 101 episode the way we started the podcast, shall we say.
That's true, it is. Just me and me.
Yes. Just with Sam's different voice, that's all. We're not saying that.
My true and authentic self.
Yes.
Thank you for everyone who did tune in to the 100th episode on Sunday or have watched it back since. Thank you, because it was so special. It was lovely sitting with everyone and seeing faces properly.
Didn't get used to it. It's not going to happen again for a while.
I'd say 200, but nah, the way that we want to crank these episodes out, we'll get there quick enough.
Certainly. Because that's been the nightmare over the last month or so, because there's been so many things and so much content that we've wanted to discuss about, to actually talk about, and especially like when we're starting to find our groove with the podcast and how it's working, and even if I say how it looks as well, it's been a hard one to limit ourselves in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we really had to stick to like a tight schedule, because we had to organize a day where everyone was free, and it was like, right, so that day is the 100th episode, so we can only do has to be the 100th episode falls on this day, so we couldn't add extra ones in. Like Clerks 3 came out, God, when was it?
About a month ago. I think it came out in September cinema wise, but digitally it came out October. The download.
And we couldn't even do that because we were so strict on where we needed to be to get to that 100th. And we have been itching to talk about it.
Very much so. Just because, if you've watched previous episodes of the podcast, or even if you watched the first episode where we stole basically the idea from Kevin Smith, we love Kevin Smith. Big influences and big kind of has a special place in our heart, shall we say?
He inspires us.
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it. Like I said, that's why Sam's the more eloquent one, and I'm the dickhead one. So yes, I'll be the first to say it. But yes, this has been a long time coming where we wanted to talk about this movie, because let's be honest, I know Sam will disagree with me. Kevin's last few films haven't hit the mark, if I'm being polite. for me personally.
I can understand where it comes from, but personally, Reboot, I loved it. I could tell what he was trying to do with it, and I was just on the journey. I wasn't there for storyline. I wasn't there. I wasn't there for how particularly good he's writing, because Kevin's writing is always good. I'll argue with anyone to say that he can't write. No. But I can see it was a bit of a clusterfuck.
Photography is not his strongest point, but writing is, that, shall we say. But yes, so I'll let Sam get a disclaimer out the way.
Yes.
Before we start giving our opinion. And Lee, you basically, he's just mentioned in the chat that he's Electronics Nerdy Bloop, and he wasn't even meant to be here today.
Oh my gosh. It started already.
Yes. 36.
So everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you would like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group where we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom, so let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Well said, well said. And she did it without any paperwork on Sunday as well. She was all from her mind.
Because I know it off by heart now.
To be fair, and she was wearing pants on Sunday as well.
Had no choice.
Well, she had a choice. It was just probably the right one.
Yes, I was in a room with Grant. So yes, I made good choices.
And we didn't want to be flooded. So yeah.
Well, before we get into the nitty gritty of this film, because we've not had a proper chance to get it, because we've had guests on where we just want to get into it. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. Feeling old, but not too bad.
Not quite reached it yet.
Not quite, but I'm feeling it every single day, every single second, the impending march to doom. But yes, no, I am pretty good now that I officially own Nerdy Up North. So yes, I am the Lord, Master and Saviour of that name. So thank you guys for everyone who chipped in and made that a really special present. I might not have shown it on the podcast.
You really take it back. Really. Do you know what though? What just a spoiler of the day, it wasn't meant to happen that way. What was meant to happen was just before you said same bat time, same bat channel, we were all going to stop here and go, no. And that's when it was going to be done. So when Nick came out, I'm like, what? So you can see my face change going, it's not now, but okay, yeah, we'll roll with it.
So it's like a goodwill type of early comments.
Yes, pretty much.
Yes.
But is there anything you've been watching, anything you've seen, anything over the last, because God, I haven't done this for a couple of weeks now.
Cabinets of Curiosity was a bit of a up and down experience. Some episodes were absolutely brilliant and some were a little bit just lackluster, but it was quite good. But it was pretty much what I expected from Del Toro, with, like, say, the storytelling and the caliber of actors in. It was brilliant. Well worth a watch on Netflix. I did go and see Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That was a long film, but entertaining. It's probably since Shang-Chi, the best Marvel film we've had since after Endgame or after No Way Home. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. A few little surprises, but didn't overwhelm you with the surprises. But it played out pretty much from A to B. It wasn't anything like complicated. And it was just fun.
Didn't try and reinvent the wheel on it.
No, but it was just like a film about loss and sadness, which we could all relate to. So that was, like, say, one of the things that I've watched recently. Other than that, been binge watching Naked and Afraid, which is basically like I'm a Celebrity, but where people can actually die.
Oh God, right, okay. I haven't seen Black Panther, and it is purely just getting to see Black Panther. For the first time in my life, I'm actually busy. So I actually have a bit of a social life at the moment. So just trying to fit it in is a bit of a mare. What about this? I've just remembered what I am watching. Me and my husband have started Frasier.
Very good. Took you long enough.
It did. I've seen bits and pieces of it because my mum and sister and dad are huge fans of it. Like, my mum actually said on Saturday she could come on and do a podcast about Frasier. I said, you shouldn't make them kind of, requests.
Hi,
because you will get asked to come on.
Just sit back in the chair, Sammy's mum. I'll take you through it.
But yeah, we've just started running, obviously, just on the first series. Anth got to meet BB for the first time last night, which was just magical. But we are loving it. Like, even from in the first series, we are belly laughing. Like, it's not something that is a gradual build up. We are pissing our pants laughing every time he says, "I'm listening," and just starts burst out laughing.
It's such a clever comedy as well. Like, I absolutely adore Frasier. Like, it's got levels which most sitcoms don't have, and the dynamics between every single character is so well thought out and so well done. And it just gets sillier and sillier, and Frasier gets more neurotic, and his ego gets out of control at times, which is just brilliant to watch.
And it was like, they're so pretentious. And I went, I know, but it's like pretentious in a good way. Like, it's not terrible. It's also Kelsey Grammer's facial expressions are honestly some of the best things I've ever seen.
But David Hyde Pierce is probably the shining light throughout from start to finish. His performances in that, I don't
Mm.
know how he didn't get more recognition. It is just
Oh,
groundbreaking. Like every little thing he does, like it's classic comedy, like from stand up on like slapstick to the point of when
mm.
he's throwing jokes out there, is just breathtaking and effortless as well. So
Yeah, his physical comedy as someone who you would not expect it from
mhm.
is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Lee, I do love Cheers. I'm actually named after a character in Cheers, so and that's not a lie.
But that's like I said, it's just a continuation of the story as well, and that's how good Cheers was. That you could get a spin off from a character that was just a side character at the start. But
Yeah.
I love the character episodes when like people from Cheers visit Frasier in Seattle and stuff, which is always entertaining. But
Well,
yes,
that's what we were wondering would actually happen. Would we see some characters from Cheers? Well, Anthony, like Diana, would come into it, but Cheers was such a big part of my like home life, like because there were certain programs that were on, like Cheers, I'll be the same pet, and so on and so on. And I never thought in a million years it would be Fraser Crane who would be the one who got the spin off, and it actually worked.
yeah, and
Out of all the characters in that,
mm-hmm.
he would have never been on my top list.
I'm glad we got it as well because I don't think I know they're thinking about bringing it back as well, which scares me a little bit. But I'm also intrigued
Yeah.
because I wouldn't mind seeing where Fraser is now because I think we'll have a different Fraser. It'll be a more serious and sadder Fraser because Martin's not with us anymore. Eddie's
No.
not here as well, so it'd be interesting to see how he's dealing with that. So again, the morbid
Yeah.
side of me is quite interested in that aspect.
It's always the same with me. When you want to go and revisit old things, it's like, how are these people dealing with this?
Yes.
Yeah. So Frasier's what I'm watching now because we've watched Always Sunny to death. And I'm a Celeb. For my sins, I am watching I'm a Celeb.
Jill Scott for the win. But yes.
Jill Scott on Mike, what's his name? I can't think of his surname.
Mike Tyndall.
Yes, him, because that guy is just as cool as a cucumber.
Cool. So yes, so are you ready to get down to it and let the tears roll?
Yeah.
So yes.
I can't guarantee that I'm not going to cry at some point.
No, that's one of the things why I thought we'd start the episode in black and white as well, in just like a little bit of homage to the original Clerks. I can't remember now because I know it was like a month ago that I seen it. This one doesn't start in black and white like Clerks 2, does it? No, because Clerks 2 does. Then the colour comes out when everything's on fire.
It's when he lifts the shade up. It's on fire, then puts it. It's when he puts it down. I think it changes into colour or something along those lines. It's very clever how it changes to colour.
But yeah, but like that, we're back to colour, so that's fine. So yes, this movie, because as I said before we did the disclaimer and everything, I was terrified of this movie coming out just because I adore Clerks and Clerks 2, and I didn't know how they would tell the story or where they would go with this story. But I thought as an ending, because it is a definite ending to the Clerks story, it couldn't have been paced or wrote more perfect.
His writing in this film is something you can tell he's taken his time with. He's been very clever about it. He's got and I said because I did a little mini post on Instagram, the love and devotion to these people was just pouring through that script. He honestly, if anything, the writing is some of the best he's ever done.
And I like the switch up as well on this as well, because Clerks 1 and 2 are very much Dante's story.
Yeah.
This one, it is still Dante is it's Dante's final act. If we're going to put it that way, there's a third act. But the way it's Randall's story at the same time, so it kind of flips it on you. You think, oh, this is going to be all about Randall with everything that's going on and how it plays out. But I didn't expect to be hit as hard as I was with this movie.
Not at all.
No.
Let's just say it right now. If you've not seen this film, why are you watching? Why are you listening? Because we're going to spoil the shit out of it.
Yes. I think I cried at 2 points in this movie, like absolutely massively. The ending broke us. I think I texted you straight afterwards, and then you had to watch it like within an hour after me seeing it.
Yeah.
And all I got was a photograph of your face, just a mess.
I was absolute. I was distraught. Like, you'd think I'd just lost a family member the way I went on. When I went in the bedroom to go and computer room to go and tell him about the film, I'm just and I could not get anything out. And then I had to pull myself together because we were doing the podcast at 7:30, and even at that point, I was still an emotional wreck. But yeah, I cried twice, probably at the same points as well.
But because like with Reboot, it was basically retelling the same story but in its own different way. With this, it was pretty much basically telling the Kevin Smith story, if that makes sense. So
it really was.
It was basically different points of his life. Basically, Kevin Smith making a movie about Clerks was about him working as Clerks. So that what happened, and like it kind of got his life flipped round, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense with this.
No, you are, yeah. So with Reboot and everything else that he's done, it's just out of the stone of mind of Kevin Smith, especially Tusk. But when it comes to Clerks, it's his life. He did a film based upon an experience that he had. He felt that the experience he had as a clerk with Brian Johnson was good enough to put into a script and create these characters, and it's so personal to him that I think that's where you were going with it.
Yes, no, that's good, and you could actually feel it through there as well, and like we all get like that and get like certain feelings, like especially doing this project that we've been doing now. Like it's kind of like what have I been doing for the life before me? Like why have I been sitting around and not doing this? Not saying that like say any to the level of like Kevin Smith or anything like that, but how Randall must have felt having that heart attack that kind of jolted him into like existence and think, right, I've talked about movies for so long, why don't I make a movie? And that was I didn't have to have a heart attack. We didn't have a heart attack. It was kind of like
the realization. We had a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a pandemic that willed, and that's such a lovely way of putting it. Actually, willed into existence, like because you do get to a certain point where, like, before we did the podcast, what were we really doing? Going to work, coming home, repeat. You know, it was rinse, repeat. And now we've got this going on, and we've got friends out of it where we can arrange to do things. Do you know what I mean? And it's like that. It really did will us into an existence.
So I think that's probably why this like movie hit home as much as it did, because I can look back at Clerks like from the start and like say know what time of life I was when I first watched that movie. Watch Mallrats and reminds us of being like a teenager. Well, not a teenager, like maybe 1920s, hanging about with arseholes like yourself, doing stupid, doing stupid stuff. And then, like, say when Clerks 2 came out, that again, I didn't relate to Clerks 2 more because it was more just like out laugh fest, because like it was stupid. Like we introduced characters like Elias that just blew me head off, and like Pillow Pants, like, and like the argument about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and having them elements brought in. Just
and Kinky Kelly
and the Stud, like everyone would see a Donkey Show, like that solidified like kind of the ending to me, where I was getting, there's nowhere emotionally they can take this. It's a funny film, but it's not emotionally.
Yeah. It's not an emotional attachment. Like Clerks, I don't feel an emotional attachment to it. I can understand. I can understand the relevance at the time. Like this was groundbreaking movie making for the fact that it was done on such a small budget. The characters in it are like easy to get on board with, and I can understand that. Clerks 2, it was just funny. It was just Kevin Smith, ha funny film. Nothing really emotionally grounding to it. But then Clerks 3 fucking flipped the switch, changed the script, and made me fucking cry.
Well, it didn't just make you cry. It makes you like think like in yourself as well, because it made you think what are we doing? Why are we doing this? How can we make things better? And are you doing things that's affecting the relationships you've got as well? Because that's where Randall like goes on this journey where he gets so self-obsessed and about it that he kind of alienates everyone that he loves and kind of loves him. And even though every experience you get with Randall, he's a dick, but he's a lovable dick, and we've all got friends that are like Randall. Fuck it, I'm probably like Randall to you guys, so just saying it out there.
Definitely a Dante.
But and how they brought back like the original cast. 'Cause I know one thing about Kevin is he is very loyal to the people who he works with, and he'll always like say try and get aspects where they'll bring certain things on. Even like the funniest scene in the film is when they're auditioning people for the cast. And they've got like Affleck in there, and Affleck was just fucking amazing. Sarah Michelle Gellar, the guy who plays Superboy and Supergirl, and the Supergirl was in.
Melissa Benoit was in there.
And them different aspects were just absolutely hilarious and on point for the humour that was, because this was a comedy, but it was a very, very dark comedy, but they always kept the light in it. Like Elias from the second one, his return, and bringing it to the ways that you weren't expecting. Like from the first one being such a religious zealot and like use the term God botherer extremely well, to the point where he thinks he's basically cursed like Mr. Randall into having a heart attack, and then he prays to Satan to save him because God wasn't helping.
No.
So then becomes a full-on Satanist, and every look changing from every scene. And you told us as well it was Kevin Smith's daughter's Haley's boyfriend that was playing his partner in crime.
The guy who played his little sidekick is Harley Quinn Smith's boyfriend, who's done. If you're a fan of Kevin and all of his many podcasts that he does a lot with his, I would say, future son-in-law, because them two are just so fucking adorable together. He's a Aston, can't think of his set. Austin ZR. I'm not don't know if I'm saying that right. But Elias's costume changing, and it wasn't just now and again. Every single time he came on the screen, he had a brand new costume on. And I love the fact that it was Randall's experience of that heart attack that broke him.
That he thought God wasn't saving him, so the Satan was going to do the same. But but yeah, that was some of the highlights for me that I wasn't expecting. The things that hit home hard were like the big hitters, like this when Randall had his heart attack, and then seeing Dante freak out in the hospital, and you're thinking, what's going on here? And we have to admit, Rosemary Dawson's character wasn't mentioned at all, like at the start as well. And even though Becky was in promotional stuff, which she was in the trailer, so you're thinking, where's Becky? And then when you find out, and it's just devastating. It's like
heartbreaking. I generally thought they just broke up. And that's because that's what Dante does. Dante, his relationships are terrible. And I just assumed that they just broke up. But to then find out actually not long after it's literally, so what I read, when you see them getting the keys for Quick Stop and she's pregnant, it's the car journey home after that. Becky dies.
Yeah.
They actually, like, I never thought in a million years that Kevin Smith would go down that route of death. But like, you can really see how much his heart attack has, and Lee has pointed this out, how much his heart attack has affected him.
Yeah.
Because you would never have a main character die in a Kevin Smith film.
Well, he did have the balls to do it. Like, originally he wanted to kill Dante in Clerks, and he couldn't do it. And they even made reference and joked about it in this movie, which was hilariously done, where like Dante walks in and there's a gunman pointing at the camera. He's like, "What the fuck's going on here?" He's like, "Oh, we're just trying to find something out, seeing how it works." And he's like, "You're not killing us off in the third act. What happens if there's a fucking sequel?"
Yeah, the original ending of Clerks was going to be the end of Dante, and apparently he wasn't too sure. Scott Mosier wasn't too sure,
Mm-hmm.
and the studio didn't like it. Too
Yeah.
grim,
Mm-hmm.
too grim. But got his fucking wish this time, didn't he?
But yeah, and the way they killed him off as well, because it was sad in a way that you knew that something was going to break him, and it was the fact that Dante is just pushing, and I mean Randall's just pushing and pushing and pushing, being Randall, being
Mm-hmm.
the guy he's always been, and thinking he's better than everyone else. When he came to the realization of like all the shit and everything that had been basically come and gone, um, and he thought about the movie as well. And he was like, "Fuck!" That's why he freaked out in the hospital. Like not, like say again, I might have cried more times instead of twice. Let's be honest. That's what kind of got to me as well. Is
Mm-hmm.
the aspect when he started like kind of like going there and freaking out. It kind of the realization on Randall that again. I know with the Kevin Smith's films, nobody's ever going to win an Oscar or get awards or get plaudits for the acting, but fuck me, that felt real. That
Yeah,
that touched me in like in ways that probably Goodwill hasn't
yeah.
either.
Brian O'Halloran is such an underrated actor because his delivery of even from Randall being in hospital and how he reacted to that to the fucking blowout that eventually causes his heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
There's like he took you through such an emotional fucking ringer. Like he
Mm.
really, really did. But Lee, just to mention the Impractical Jokers are in that scene because of Brian Quinn. Brian Quinn worked or used to work for Kevin back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he knows Brian Johnson and how he does Tell Him Steve Dave.
Mm.
I was actually going to mention the fact that the Impractical Jokers were in the audition scene, but it is just due to the fact that Brian Quinn once went to Kevin Smith, "I want to work for you." And Kevin went, "Well, what do you want to do?" And he went, "I'll do anything." And he was like, "We're going to beat that guy up." And fucking Brian Quinn beat a guy up. And that's how their working relationship started.
Oh dear me. But yeah, and the way that they did the death as well, because like I say, they got Randall to watch, Randall and Dante to watch the movie, and that's when Dante kind of let go, and
Yeah.
you see him sitting in the cinema with Becky, and because if you ever listen to like say any like Kevin Smith's like stand up or when he does like a Q&A or question with Kevin Smith, when he talks about like his happiest times, it's always been talked about like sitting there in the cinema with his dad when his dad used to take him to the cinema, because his dad, like say, is it just a normal working class guy. I think he used to be a postman, if me
Yeah,
memory serves.
he was a postman.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
he
did that recently at San Diego Comic Con.
yeah, and he always says that when he passes, that his happy place would be going to the cinema with his dad, and that's
That's
where
where he expects to meet his dad.
yeah, and that's what that scene took us as well, because with Kevin being so close to realizing that moment, because with his heart attack being a serious one, like I've that realization that everything that Kevin had put in this movie was from his, like it was like basically a love letter to his life, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, and
Oh,
it was just so
100%.
poetically and beautifully done that I just don't have the words to say like how much that like I felt that moment.
Yeah. You've got, I
Mm.
think with this film, you have to understand and be a fan of Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, some things are just really are going to go over your head.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the conversations that Dante has with Becky at a graveyard, and like when he sees her, I can instantly think that that's how Kevin is managed to, because his dad losing his dad was huge for him, and it was very unexpected as well. And I just imagine that he has had these conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and I just saw so much of what I think this man is
Mm-hmm.
in this film.
Yeah.
Like it just reaffirmed what I believe I know about him.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say something about the ending. No, I've totally forgotten. I'll come back. It'll come to us. It'll come to us.
But this film as well, being a Kevin Smith film, was full of cameos. Like all the cameos, like people he's worked with. Like I was crying laughing at Justin Long's cameo when he was when Randall's in hospital, and they're talking about shaving his nuts and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh, they're going to go in through there. It's like, why are you going to go in through there? And like the whole awkward like this, and I don't know why, but they made him do like this weird accent as well. So
because it's just Justin Long. Like if you watch him in Zack and Miri make a porno, he can't help but do accents. I even believe he did one in Tusk. I don't think he talked properly in Tusk either. That is such a good film, by the way.
But honestly, like they're one of the highlights. But even bringing back what's her name again? I can't pronounce her surname, but Veronica from the first.
Oh, Veronica. Marilyn Giletti.
Giletti. But bringing
we'll just
her,
call her Marilyn.
but bringing her back in the way they did was just a fun little like essence, and having her been so angry saying this is my life, I don't want her to be on screen, but just realizing that she was just having a bad time, and that and say having a conversation with Dante in the car, kind of reliving that like kind of soft moment, but then just finishing off with saying wanna fuck. It's like
it was lovely, and the fact that Walt Flanagan got to do the Eggman,
yes,
like, that was fantastic. And also they dedicated the whole film to Lisa Spooner, who was Caitlin Bree in Clerks. She passed away.
Yeah, so not too long after Clerks, I don't think.
2017.
All right, so it was a bit.
It was 2017, yeah. So I think you've got to think how long he's had Clerks 3 on the table for, because I know the script has changed since his heart attack, but I'm sure he's been talking about doing this for a long time.
It's made some changes, because I know originally he wanted to do Mallrats 2, but I think with what you call now Shannon Doherty going ill, that kind of put paves that to stop. Because I thought about doing it.
Stan Lee as well, and he was a major part of that.
Yeah, and they were going to do like a TV show for Mallrats for a little while. But I know when he had his heart attack, he pretty much rewrote this movie completely from start to finish, from what he wanted and how it was going to play out. But as I said, the elements in this, which kind of surprised us, it was rehashing a lot of Clerks and showing like how they did things, or what how what went into it, was just hilarity. And I was there for it all. But the use of colour in this as well, because I don't think Kevin gets a lot of credit, as I made the joke earlier, for his photography skills, filmography. Sorry, he's never been one for like the best shots or anything to be positioned right. It's all long, stayed in one shot, and things don't really progress much. But the colours in this as well, like, was used in a way that it made it say vibrant, different. Even like
it didn't feel like a Clerks film.
No, it felt like it was produced with some money. So
yeah, it did. Yeah, absolutely. There is one person who I want to talk about who absolutely made me belly laugh to the point where I nearly fell out of bed. Jason Mewes. the Jason Mewes. There is one scene in that film where and it's such a throwaway line when they're outside and he comes out and tells them to be quiet. But he's so fucking serious. And it just had me in absolute stitches. Jason didn't... do you know what? For once, it felt like Jason wasn't trying to take over. He was very subdued as Jay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't terrible.
No. I thought it's like him and Silent Bob. Well, like say they always play a big
Not
part.
So much Silent Bob. The fucker talked quite a bit.
I think Kevin wanted to put his stamp on it as well. But Jason Mewes like went back a little bit to Jay in the original Clerks, and kind of forgot about like what's like happened before or after, like with everything that's gone on in his life. And he just seemed to be having fun, and that's what the big thing. And like with how somber and like everything in this movie, this was a fun movie. I know we're talking it saying we cried a lot and stuff.
Oh God, but absolutely. It was hilarious,
Like,
but for all the right reasons.
but even the jokes, like when doing the shot in the video store and the woman's coming in to ask about the difference of it, and they do different takes and like she does different accents and like and how they play it out. It was just hilarious because that was one of my favorite scenes in Clerks. It just felt so natural, but having it done it in an unnatural way was just absolutely hilarious.
It's the fact that they were running a weed store, but yet generally believed they were running a VHS store.
But and like as you said, with all the like in jokes or little cameos that played in, like the milkmaids were there, having the cat shit in the letterbox as well. Again,
Yep.
that was just absolutely hilarious. Having the guy coming in talk about like cigarettes and
The
being
cigarette guy,
yeah.
yes.
And
yes.
and then the guy who said, "Oh, I fucked Caitlin. I went at high school. I was the guy. Oh, you're the guy that like did." And then they talk about like stereotypical act, like saying whitewashing in acting in the movies and stuff like that. It was like you can't use that term. You can't. Why's it got to be an Asian designer? That's just racist. And like it's not. It's just it's a sign of the time, man.
It's just so it was so funny, and yeah, the lot of callbacks to it. It was such a breath of fresh air for this film. It really was. For all it was an absolute emotional roller coaster, it was just so fucking clever.
Yeah.
Like massively cleverly done. And I'm like, I will never shit on a Kevin Smith film ever. I will die on the hill for reboot. But I can understand where people come from. I get it. He's not for everyone. You cannot fucking say that about this film.
No.
Like I just hope this is where Kevin goes in writing. Takes his time.
I think that's got to be like the question is what comes next, because this must be a mega high. I know Kevin Smith films don't always get the highest ratings or make the biggest money, but for a small portion of people of probably our age range, they mean the fucking world. Because, like I said, these were our like grown-up films. These are what we made friends and related to, and had them type of aspects. Again, I don't know what it's like in America, but I know in the UK there is a lot of love for Kevin Smith. And again, I felt heartily sorry for Mark Bermarden as well. It must be shit being his mate because he keeps getting him in the films but doesn't allow him to talk.
Yeah. I love that idea though. I just think when it comes to Kevin, because he is what now, 50, 51, 52?
I'll tell you, I'll have a quick look.
I'm sure he's just celebrating. His birthday's in August. I know that. Where are you, Kevin Smith? On my Wikipedia.
1970.
He is 52.
52.
And for a 52-year-old who still celebrates everything that he loves from his childhood, it just gives me, as a 39-year-old woman, validation that that's okay. Like he validates everything. Because there is times where I'm like, I'm ready. Should I start growing? Oh, yeah. He bought a transformer today.
Yeah.
But no, it's like certain parts of my life I'm like, should I grow up? Should I, do I need to change this? Do I need to change that? And then I just put something of Kevin Smith's on. It can be, honestly, it can be one of his Q&As, his films, his podcasts. The bloke does a lot. Even just going onto his Instagram page, and I'm like, no, it's okay. I don't have to conform to anyone because Kevin Smith said it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay I do hold him in high regard for that.
Yeah, and that's why we always do relate to these films. And again, I know you're like a little bit, shall we say, rose-tinted glasses when it comes to certain movies, shall we say. And but other than like the 2-minute cameo of Ben Affleck in Reboot, it left me a little bit. The taste a little bit was taken out of my mouth. This kind of
I loved it. I loved the end as well. I was like, yes, this is so fucking metal.
But this one kind of didn't do that, and it wasn't, as I said, not a disappointment. Nothing that you were never left thinking, what if that was the big thing.
No, this was an indefinite ending. to this franchise,
and it
like
did,
to this film series.
and it took massive risks as well, because that's one of the things I think Kevin Smith does again get criticised for with a lot of his View Askew movies. Not the ones like out there like Red State and Tusk. They're again risks in their own right, but with characters that people hold like dear to and kind of gravitate towards. He took a massive risk with this movie because the decisions he made can't go back.
No, you can't. It's not a Marvel film.
No,
we can't. It's not a superhero film. We can't resurrect people. We can't. They are. It's gone. They are gone. And it was such a bold choice to do. I don't, and quite honestly, I don't know if I would have been the same reaction if it was Randall who died. I don't think that I would have been upset still, but Dante is like such a pinnacle of these films that hit hard.
Yeah, and again, as you probably hit the nail on the head. If Randall had died, or if something had happened to the friendship where there was no return, because that's where I was aiming for, it wouldn't have had as much closure. With Dante dying, it kind of like takes away the dynamic of that friendship because it makes Randall kind of have to be accountable for himself now. He can't just blame. I know now he's got Elias.
He's got Elias.
And like I say, the whole subplot of them selling that. Was it the digital image? That
it was it Buddy Christ or something? It was Buddy Christ on a kite.
Yeah, with because like say all these images now you can sell like bitcoins and stuff. So he made like £1 million off it. So he invested in the store to get off.
Oh, that's right, because the Dante made the ultimate sacrifice. He financed the movie by selling his share to his ex-girlfriend.
Yes, who's Kevin's lovely wife as well.
Jennifer Schwalbach.
Yes, you said it better than I could. But that whole like giving us that little element and closure, and then having Elias always being kind of equal now and not like an underling. That was a nice little touch, and again finishing off them touches. But I again might be a little bit selfish here and thinking I don't want Kevin Smith to direct many more movies after this one. I wouldn't mind him writing for other people and giving like stories to tell, and like as he's doing now with the Masters of the Universe, build them like franchises up. But I kind of want the View Askew now to be put to bed and think, because anything that they do after this in this universe, because even if they do like another Jay and Silent Bob, another Mallrats, a sequel to Chasing Amy, it's not going to have the same effect and not same feeling. Where this is like it started with Clerks, it ends with Clerks.
Yes.
And it gives us closure, and that I think to me, not many franchises or movies, as we're finding out with the Marvel universe now, gives you that closure.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. It starts with Clerks, it ends with Clerks. Let's put it to bed. Like Kevin has so much to offer with his writing ability. Like you said, Masters of the Universe was fucking tremendous. Absolutely. But that's Kevin all over. He's just so fucking good at writing dialogue. He really is.
Not much for the fighty.
His comic books writing as well. Like I would love to see him go back to comic book writing. I doubt that he would, but I'd love to see it because he is such a good writer.
Definitely.
I mean, it helps that he can talk you fucking a glass eye to sleep, like.
Yes, that's why I've said I would love to get him on this podcast, but we wouldn't probably get a word in to say it.
No. So Thought Bubble, when it was done digitally, when we're in the middle of the pandemic and everything was done, they did the convention digitally. They got Kevin Smith on, who also interviewed him, barely said a word. I watched it and I was like, she looks terrified. Because she's sitting in her bedroom staring at Kevin Smith, most likely that is terrifying, but she never said a goddamn word. But I'm currently halfway through his talk with George R.R. Martin that he did recently, and Kevin has not said a word.
All right.
Because there's somebody who can talk more than Kevin.
That's the thing, because the problem is with Kevin now is if you got an interview with him, there's every question that's been asked, he's probably answered a million times. So it kind of just would be just asking him to talk whatever he wants to talk now.
Yeah. Just tell it. Just tell us about you, Kevin. How are you doing?
You tell him, Steve, dear. But yes, as a whole, it's not a perfect movie visually, and like I say, as you say, it tells a story. It has lulls. There's bits where, like as you said, there's predictable bits. There's things that you expect. It's a Kevin Smith movie, so it's always got to have the vulgarity and the dick and fart jokes, which again I'm always there for. It's not always for everyone, but
I'll be devastated if you never put them in. I'd be fucking turn it off.
But if you're going to give this a rating out of 5, because you know I like me 5 ratings, what would you rate it? Honestly,
5.
You would give it a 5.
Honestly, 5.
Mm-hmm.
5. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just wasn't. I was not expecting it. I was expecting to love it because it's Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting to have such an emotional breakdown that I did, that it affected us days later. Like it still affected us days later. And to me, that was how I felt after I watched Tusk, actually. Not emotionally, but just more thought-provokingly. It had me thinking for about a week and a bit afterwards, like, not just what the fuck have I just watched, just the...
There was probably that aspect to it as well. But
the psychological part of it just had me thinking for a week. And that's why I love that movie as much as I did, and why I love this one, because if something can affect us that way for a long time afterwards, then it as entertainment, it did its job.
I love that aspect to it as well, because the amount of movies we do watch, well, probably not Sam, none of them kind of like leaves an effect, and like you're not really thinking about them. There's certain ones that do jump to mind, like Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm trying to think of the others off the top of my head. Like recently, there's not been many recently other than Clerks through that's left an impression where you were still thinking about it, or thinking about aspects of it days later. And yeah, again, I could never give it a 5 out of 5, because there is no perfect movie other than Back to the Future, which we'll be talking about this Monday. But I would say it was close to it for me, but that was probably on a personal level rather than, like, say, someone will probably watch that movie and say it was a load of garbage because they don't get the same resonate thing. So me, it'll probably be a 4.5, because again,
that's a good score. That's a pretty decent score.
Because
mine was fine.
Yeah, because there's not many movies, like as you said, you can watch and think that impacted me, and this one really did. It might be because of like the personal relationship we hold with the people involved. Well, personal is a strong word. Like
but it nostalgia. Is like it is when it comes to my household, because my husband is he's a Patreon of Tell 'em Steve Dave, and they are in our house. We actually, on Christmas Eve, when we're sitting wrapping presents, sometimes we will have the Tell 'em Steve Dave Christmas special on in the background. Like that is a little bit of a tradition of ours. His presence of his world is very much living in my home.
Yeah,
all the fucking time.
And I think we should praise them when they do something. I know it sounds like almost a little bit patronising. Do something right, and it's a hard sell to say that. I know I'm trying to think of the words where it's not patronising or like anything like that, but there's so many when you watch a movie that you've got that anticipation for. It's so easy to feel let down. This movie didn't let us down.
No,
in one really aspect, didn't. And that's a special feeling as well when it comes to it. I think a lot of films do fuck up that way.
Yeah, I had I think I had like kind of a proud moment, like of really like I felt proud of Kevin for once knowing that he wasn't going to get shit for this.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of films that you could really shit upon when it comes to Kevin, which you will never find coming out of my mouth. But people can literally rip them to pieces, and I don't think there's nothing they can rip to pieces on this film. So it was like such a proud moment being a fan of his. And thinking, because the whole experience with Kevin is not just here's a movie, you get it. Kevin takes that out on the road. Him and Jason at the moment are still, I think they're still doing the promotional work for this. So they take it to a theatre, watch it with the fans, and then do a Q&A afterwards. He did it for Reboot. And this is basically how he makes his money off it.
But that's the thing, because he refuses.
Roadshow.
Yeah, because he refuses to let a studio own his movies now. So
I think because of what happened with Mallrats, because he still doesn't quite own it.
Wasn't it Dogma?
Or Mallrats as well.
Yeah, because you
own it.
Because you can't get a copy of Dogma on Blu-ray or like anything like that.
Yeah, there's something that Miramax did that he will never ever happen again.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing, really.
Certainly, the only bad thing is like, say, this movie was so hard to see in the UK. I got a very limited cinema release where it was basically, especially being in the northeast of England, I think the closest pictures that was shown it was either Middlesbrough or Leeds.
Oh, I'm not going there.
Yeah, Goodwill's in Middlesbrough, so yeah.
I'm not going to Middlesbrough. he has to come to us if he wants to see us.
in his snot green car.
He's Kermit the Frog in the back seat. Oh, I have just told everyone what Goodwill's car has in the back seat so they can easily find it. And you know what the hilarious part is? Goodwill is here. He just can't hear us because he's got us on mute.
God damn him. God damn him. But yes, there's a lot to take from this movie in ways that I think each person who watches it will have, who's got like a love of Kevin's films, will take different things from the movie.
What did you take away from it?
Probably the thing that hit home is they're not wasting, and again is to step up what we are doing now, and like say keep pushing that, because for what we've got, like say everything that we've kind of accomplished so far, again 6,500 people in the group, over 1,100 subscribers on YouTube. Like I said, just about to set up a Patreon, like and so on. Hitting 100 episodes, it would be easy just to fall back and think, this is easy now. But it's about pushing on and taking it further.
Is like I said in one of my posts, like, yeah, we've just done 100 episodes, but it generally just feels like we're just getting started. Like, it doesn't feel like we've done 100 episodes. It just feels like it's just getting started, and yet we've already done so much. but there's so much more.
True, but I think a lot of the times as well, it's anxiety and fear that do hold us.
Oh yeah, we're nerds, so the anxiety and social aspect of it definitely comes to play.
Yeah, but what I was saying there is like the fear kind of holds us back at times as well. It's like realizing that anything can take it away at times as well. As you said, like say we are getting older, and someone is turning 40 this week. So it is like saying a little bit scary as well, but it's like not to rest and not to say we've done well. That's the thing, is to pat ourselves on the back. It's not that aspect. This is fun. This is something that we do like try and have as much fun with as well. Sorry to go all serious as well. But it's
alright, Johnny Lee who's in.
It's just to make it feel as special for everyone else as it does for us.
Yeah, it's we're building community. We talked about this on Sunday. We're trying to build a community that we can all be incredibly proud of. Lee, sorry, I'm just ready. Second comment. It made me feel my own mortality as well, and that yes, I do definitely need to start eating salads. Not that he said that; he said it about himself. I am confirming. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. But the film did make me realize life's too short. Not to get like really serious about this shit, but life is too short, and how to deal with grief, loss, acceptance, patience. It was just
you've got a lot of patience to deal with me, so
I think it's the other way around, my friend. Me and my bullshit. But yeah, I absolutely adore this film, and I urge anyone, if you can, go and watch it.
Yes, and also to watch Orgasmo to see Lee's cameo in Orgasmo. Just
You are such a good sport, Lee.
he deserved it, the twat.
So is that us done about Clerks 3?
Yeah, just
Have we
like
gushed over it enough?
Yeah, a little short episode, which I thought would be quite fun to do. We'll be trying to do more of these, and also like a few extra ones for the Patreon when we do go live. So this is kind of like a practice run, tasters on things to come. So I know. We were planning on doing an episode on Sunday, but someone is being very selfish and not taken into the group's mentality and decided to have fun instead.
That would be me. I will be traveling back from Liverpool and generally don't know if I will make it on time. So Paul has been nice enough to shift everything to Monday so he can enjoy his birthday weekend.
Certainly. But that is a good shout as well. If anyone who is listening and is going to Liverpool Comic Con this weekend, please, this would make my day. Go over and make a big deal out of Sam. She'll be sitting on a table with Caroline, who is like selling her artwork and
he's a guest artist
at the com. So Sam will be sitting there. She won't be wearing a Nerdy Up North t-shirt because she doesn't like to promote.
I don't know.
But see, she doesn't even own a t-shirt. That's what I'm saying.
I do actually. That's such a lie. I do. I own one, but it's I sleep in it. So.
But yes, so please, if you do see Sammy, make a big deal. Say hello. Ask for photos. Try and get photos of her feet as well. See that she's got pictures on it of her with her pants on.
Yeah, just make sure I'm wearing trousers. That'd be nice. Just remind us to continuously keep wearing my trousers.
Yes, and even ask Sammy to take a video with you to ask you to be on the podcast as well. All submissions are welcome. But yes.
Die.
But yes, so Back to the Future is the next one, so I'm going to watch that again this week. We're not doing the trilogy, we're just doing the first one.
Okay.
Yes. So okay. I thought we'd leave a trilogy for a later date when we start talking about movie franchises.
More content.
More content. But we're just talking about the original, the first one. And like I say, talking about how wonderful and how much of an impact Michael J. Fox is to me as well. So I might cry during that one.
No, I didn't cry.
Yes.
It didn't get us as much as I thought it would have, because honestly, could not hold a conversation with anyone after I watched that film.
Certainly. But yes, so again, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever the fuck you listen to us, please do listen to us. I know I haven't put the 100th episode up yet, so you might get a 2 for if you do listen that way. But yes, and again, like I said, I know Jake and Goodwill will probably be twitching some point this time. Like I say, please, like I say, keep an eye out for the Patreon as well. We are going to have levels, and yes, we are going to have a Goonie level. So that is this for the special breed of people. Only Lee is there at the moment.
We've got a lot going on.
We have indeed. And I'm, like I say, trying to keep your marriage together as well. So that's always a good start.
Yeah, that's a bonus. Let's not have any divorces in this during this podcast, please.
Yes. And I know I didn't end it this way on Sunday, but I thought it was
nice... You did not, you dick.
Thought it was quite a funny way to do it. But yes, same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.